Okay, good evening guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about sleep. I'm sure you've read the title, How to Sleep So Good That It Feels Addictive, right? Now, I know you're not going to believe me, you're going to go, well, mate, it's just sleep. But fuck me, when I first started locking in and sleeping good, it did become actually addictive. Now, I know it's a little bit of a contradiction for me to make this video now. I'm sure you can see the bags under my eyes. I haven't slept that well, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it, right? A little bit of proof that I do have good sleep. I do have a sleep tracker, but it's not very good because it just goes off the sound on your phone. I'll talk about it later, but it's not great. So I'm not going to show you evidence or my scores on there. It's a little bit weird, but when I was first starting in my job, right, I sliced my hand open, right? I'll see if I can bring the pictures up on screen. It was quite a bad cut, and they looked at me and went, yeah, you're probably going to need stitches. Come back in 10 days. Might have been 5 days. No, I think it was a week. They said, come back in a week. What we'll do is we'll cut it open again after they've closed it, which I thought was a little bit weird. Why are you opening my hand up again, right? And we'll take a look at it to see how deep you've cut in, because the further in you go, there's a nerve here and then a tendon for your pinky here, a little bit further in. So they wanted to see what I've cut, right? I go back after a week and they go, what? Wait, what? I was like, what? They went, it's already closed. They said, your hand's near enough healed. We're not going to cut it back open again. You seem to have full function, which could send you on your way. They were genuinely amazed at how fast I healed. I'll see if I can bring the picture up of when I first took the bandage off after 10 days. So I'll show you that healed that quickly in 10 days. And I attribute that massively. So I locked in so good. My sleep was perfect. For those 10 days, I didn't really have work because I work a manual job. I'm an electrician apprentice, so I couldn't use my hand. And I attribute most of that healing to sleep. I was just sleeping so good, and I had locked in on everything I'm going to tell you about today. Okay, so what causes good sleep? Good sleep is made up of three kind of different things. So you've got sleep quality. When you're actually asleep, how good is that sleep? Because it's not all the same, unfortunately. Sleep regularity. How often are you going to bed and waking up at the same time every day? And the one we've heard over and over again since we've been born to the day we die, duration. Are you getting your 8 hours? Okay, I'll also explain that, right? So how this video is going to be structured is I'm going to go into those three, what they mean, how to improve them, and then that will kind of be one big part. Then the second part will be how to actually implement the things I'm going to tell you, because it's all great me explaining everything, and you watch this video on some scientist going right and how to sleep well, but they don't factor in that you have a life, you have a job, you might have kids. You can't do everything that they're suggesting is optimal, right? So I'll explain to you in real life practical terms how to genuinely better your sleep. So first off, I'd just like to reframe your sort of mindset, right? Because this is kind of important. Sleep is not something you do. It's not like a verb, like a bicep curl. Had to show it off a little bit there. Like a bicep curl is something you're doing, right? Sleeping is more just like an effect, a symptom. It's more something that happens to you rather than something you do. Like if you're in the gym, you're doing curls, you're doing the curls. Whereas when you're going to sleep, you lie down, it just more happens to you. So I want you to think of everything today is like how to make your car run really well. It's like a bunch of things you can do to then culminate in sleep happening to you better. So this is important. I know you might think this is a little weird, because if the more effort and intention you put into just, oh, I need to sleep well, I need to sleep well, it actually makes your sleep worse because you become stressed, and you need to just relax. Let it happen to you. Because if you're sat there going, right, I need to be in a dark room, oh no, I think my room's too hot, oh, and how long ago did I eat, you're gonna actually ruin your sleep. You can actually do some things quite badly but get great sleep because you're just relaxed. I'll go into it more later. So first off, sleep quality, right? That is how much REM sleep and deep sleep you're getting. So REM sleep is basically your dreams, you're dreaming, and then deep sleep is the first stage of sleep where you go into like repair and recovery. So that's when you grow muscle, right? And that's when your growth hormone massively spikes up. That's when you're going to heal from injuries. Right on. That's when you just repair. That's more body. REM sleep is more brain, right? That's how you better remember stuff. You better your overall brain health, okay? That's the dreaming state, okay? So sleep quality is how much of that is occurring, because you can be asleep for 8 hours, the duration. That's all duration is, just how long you're asleep. Are you sleeping enough time? Are you allowing yourself enough time to be asleep? You can be asleep for like 8-9 hours and your sleep's actually shit. I had this quite badly before I locked in. Like, I was like, how am I sleeping so shit? I'm sleeping like 8 hours and I'm waking up exhausted, like so tired, but I can't go back to sleep. I've just been asleep for ages, right? And it's because you're not getting enough REM and deep sleep. If you drink alcohol near bed, you're not sleeping better. Excuse me. You're not sleeping better. You're just being sedated. This is massive if you drink alcohol. It ruins your deep and REM sleep, right? And the other one, this is actually the most important one, okay? It's not talked about enough. It's how regular your sleep is. Regularity, right? Are you going to bed at the same time every day? It's more important to go to bed at the same time every day and then just let your body wake up. You can anchor in like a wake up time as well, but for me, I prefer to just go to bed at the same time, and if I wake up a little earlier or a little later, just let it happen. Now, we do have work. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. But yeah, sleep regularity is the time you go to bed and the time you wake up. Is it the same every day? It's super duper important. This was proven to be the most important thing, just factor for sleep, because your body gets into a rhythm. Your body loves rhythm. We're going to talk about circadian rhythm in a minute. So your body loves rhythm, right? So when you're going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, your body is almost ready to expect what's going to happen. So you'll find you'll start slipping into sleep within 5 minutes. Okay, so now let's talk to you about how to improve this. The first step to great sleep is actually what happens in the morning. I know you might think, Kai, I've come here to learn how to sleep and you're telling me about stuff to do in the morning. Trust me, it'll all make sense. So the first step to having a great sleep is to have a great morning. You need to tell your body to be awake. You need to just send that signal saying, I'm awake, all right? I don't want to be asleep anymore. I'm awake now, right? The most common one that people do is coffee, right? Because what happens in the morning is, to achieve that signal, is actually a big cortisol spike. What I'll compare it to is, it's like, you know, when you're trying to start a lawnmower or a chainsaw, you got that cord, but you pull it and you go vroom, and it starts going, right? That's what that cortisol spike is. Now, there's 3 ways to cause it to happen. Technically 4, but you don't need to, just shut up. There's 3. Okay, so number 1 is getting cold. So that, you hear people, 5 a.m. hustle, grind set, cold shower. It does work. A cold shower or just cold on your face wakes you up, right? That sends a shock signal to wake up. The other one is exercise, right? But I don't mean going and hitting the gym. I mean just doing one set of just making yourself tired. So one thing that's great would be a sprint on the spot, may look a little weird, push-ups or some squats. Just get moving. You're not going to be very strong. You're not trying to go for like a PR. Just push-ups, bang them out till you're just tired, and then it will send that signal saying, wake up. You just got to do a little bit of exercise. It's not like going for a 2-mile run. It's just waking up, just getting moving. The other one is this one that didn't really count, is drinking water. You need to drink like around a pint of water. The most important one of the three is bright light, okay? So if you just think, it's just common sense, right? If you think how we evolved as cavemen living in caves or tiki huts, when you'd go to sleep, it was dark. When you'd wake up, it's light. To send that signal of waking up, you need to go outside. You can do it through a window and get sunlight on your eyes. Because if you didn't know this, most of your eye, the overwhelming majority of the anatomy of your eye is actually a daylight sensor or a clock, right? That's, to me, when I first heard this out, I was like, what? I thought my eye was to see. But a lot of your eye is to interpret what time it is, right? By just seeing the angle of the sun. So within around half an hour to an hour of waking up, you need to go and just get bright light. You don't need to do it for very long. 5 to 10 minutes. If it means waking up 5 to 10 minutes earlier, it's worth it, okay? But I know you're going to say, Kai, what about in winter, especially in the UK where I live, when it's fucking freezing? I don't want to go outside, yeah? It's not going to be summer all the time. There is another thing you can do, or when it's really dark. Like for me, I'm an electrician, we wake up early. If I wake up at 5:45, it's dark, it's pitch black. There is this. This is called a sad lamp. Is it plugged in? Yeah. Gosh, I hope this doesn't blind you. But this is a lamp that kind of replaces the sun. As you see, it's very fucking bright. It doesn't look too bright on camera, to be fair. But yeah, don't look directly at it. What you can do is you can use something like this to replace the sun, 5 minutes every day. And I'll show you now how to use it. Don't look at it like that, that'll blind you. What you want to do is have it close to your face, turn it on, and you can see my face is now lit up. And I want to just look just above it. So it's angling into my eyes, but I'm looking just above it. Don't do that and look straight at it and blind yourself. So I know that might seem weird, but if you think as cavemen we evolved to when we wake up, there's sunlight, it's in the morning, sending that signal of light just for 5 minutes before you get in the shower maybe, that will send that signal to wake up. So that's very important. The first step to having great sleep is to tell your body that you're fucking awake, okay? Doesn't matter when you wake up. Let's say you wake up at 11. You've had a massive lie-in. Whatever. Don't worry about that. Just wake up before 12. Get that light in. Do some push-ups or some squats or something. Maybe run on the spot. Just get yourself in some sort of flow of movement. Drink some water. Maybe have some electrolytes. And maybe, if you want, it's not for everyone, have a cold shower, just get some cold on you. That will wake you up, right? Once you send that signal to wake up, that's your body in motion, right? Your circadian rhythm has started. What is the circadian rhythm? The circadian rhythm is the 24-hour body clock that your body abides by from when to wake up and to fall asleep, right? It's just as simple as that. It's just your body's body clock because your body wants to wake up and go to sleep around the same time every day. It likes to be in that rhythm, okay? So what you want to do is you want to anchor your circadian rhythm to your work. So let's say you get to work for 9 and you like to wake up at 7:30. Try and do that every day, and by 8 make sure you've sent that signal that you're awake. You probably leave 8:30, takes you 1 hour to get ready. And then when you go to bed, let's say you go to bed at like 9-10 p.m, try and do that every day, even on weekends, okay? Send that signal in the morning and then wind down to go to sleep at night. Same time every day. Make sure that your circadian rhythm is set, okay? This is something that is super duper important. I was doing all the right things, right, that I'm going to talk about a little bit later as well. But I wanted to bring this in now because this is the number one thing that just changed the game for me. The second I started doing it, my sleep got so good that it became addictive, right? And it's something that's not what you would think, right? What it was? Magnesium, right? It was a supplement. Now, you might think, how the fuck can a supplement make that big of a difference? Because I would tell you, I went from sleeping all right to sleeping fucking amazing, right? This supplement, fucking godsend, okay? So, what this is it's the key nutrient your body needs to just create the chemicals in your brain to sleep properly, okay? So, it may sound a little far-fetched that one supplement can cause this big of a difference, right? But it's just very important for your body to have that nutrient, and it's just very rare. The main places you get it are fatty red meat, organs, or avocados, right? To get roughly this isn't optimal, but your recommended daily intake of around 300 to 400 milligrams, you need to eat 2 large avocados a day, or 1 liver, or over 1 kilo of red meat. Now, I don't know about you, doing that every day is fucking difficult, okay? But if you like to train often, you're very high energy like me, you do a lot of exercise, you have a manual job, you're going to need more than that, to the point where unless you're only eating like a carnivore diet of red meat and organs, you're not going to be hitting optimal. So supplementing that on top of just eating a good protein diet, you'll reach that level, okay? So the reason it caused such a huge impact to me was I just wasn't eating enough, right? Because I love meat, but I don't eat fucking 2 avocados a day and liver every day. So I needed that. It changed the flipping game. I promise you, you will not regret getting this. Now, there are levels to it. I recently gave it out to someone I know because she said that she was having trouble sleeping. And you need to know, it's not a sleep pill, okay? It's not like you pop some melatonin and then you just go to sleep. It's a nutrient, okay? It's just a nutrient deficiency that we're curing here. So there are levels to it. Having it every day is the most important thing. So just focus on getting it every day first, then move on to the next steps, of which you want to have it earlier in the day because you need to digest it. If you have it right before bed, you're not going to digest it in your sleep properly. So you want to have it earlier in the day, and even better, the best case scenario is to have the supplement earlier in the day with some food. So having it with your lunch would be fucking perfect, right? Okay, so the next thing, speaking about food, is you want to eat earlier before sleep. So let's say you're going to sleep at 9 p.m. You want to have your dinner like fully finished by at the minimum, like the latest 8. Like 1 to 2 hours before is best. The scientists say you want to have it around 4 hours before bed, but love, I have a life. I can't fucking have dinner 4 hours before bed because I don't even get home 4 hours before bed, all right, sometimes. So the reason why is when you have food right before bed is it kind of increases your body temperature. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was temperature. You need to have your room nice and cool, okay? So when you're going to sleep, one thing to majorly focus on is just try and have a cool room. Now, I know when it's fucking boiling, because there's a heat wave going on in England right now, right? You're like, Kai, how am I supposed to manage that? Okay, now a fan is going to help, but this thing here, absolutely amazing, right? This is around £250 to £300, okay? Yes, that's a little pricey, but if you save up for it, you won't regret it, okay? You'll have good sleep all summer. All it is you put that vent out the window, close the window so it's only the vent popping out, turn that on, and the vent is the exhaust, okay? Just turn that on, set it to 18 degrees, you'll be perfect, okay? Trust me, that thing is so helpful. I can't recommend it enough. So that's how to keep your room cool. I know it's a little frustrating. It's just buying an AC, but I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. The other thing that's super important is you need to have a wind down routine. Now, it may sound a little precious, but you just need to relax, okay? Before sleep, you just need to calm down, keep the heart rate down, and just chill. The best way to go about doing that, you don't have to do meditation and breath work and stuff as much as that. That will help, but it's not this super complicated stuff. It's just try get off the screen, try get off your phone. A lot of you will have heard that blue light makes your sleep disrupted, which is true, but that was only like 5 to 10% of the actual problem. The actual problem is having your attention focused on something, because watching TikTok actually requires a lot of your attention. So you just want to come off the screens, come off apps on your phone, and just relax. Maybe you could journal, maybe you can have a conversation with someone. You could be on the phone, as long as you're not looking at a screen, just relaxing. Maybe you could read a book, talk to a loved one, plan what you're going to do tomorrow, get your bag ready, that sort of thing. Maybe prepare your lunch, okay? Just with around an hour before bed, you just need to chill, okay? You just need to de-stimulate. Don't do anything really stimulating. So if you're playing video games, you're watching a TV show, just kind of come off that, okay? Just 1 hour before sleep, okay? That is very important, by the way. The next thing I'd recommend is just blackout curtains, keeping your room dark. But if you can't do that, something that's great, a sleep mask, okay? Sleep mask, I'm not gonna lie, this changed the game for me. When I first started doing it, I noticed, wow, like, that's really good. The other one is mouth tape. Now, this may seem a little confusing, but I'll show you now. It's not that scary. You might think, what happens if I can't breathe out my nose? Am I gonna die? No. Let me show you now. Right. You peel some off, and you put it on. Just like that. It's super gentle, so you can take it off with no force at all, really. But it's just enough force to get you to not mouth breathe, and also it'll help your jawline, because you stop you from mouth breathing in your sleep. But that'll improve your sleep quality because you're just breathing better, because it's always better to breathe through your nose. So that will cure your snoring problem, if you have one. Now, if you do have a bit of a blocked nose, you're not used to nasal breathing a lot, what I'd recommend is just put it on, and then if you wake up, just take it off and just slowly get there. Another thing you can buy are nose strips, where you put a nose strip on and it expands your nostrils. They're fantastic. Then the other thing is earplugs. Personally, I don't like them. Some people, it'll be perfect for you, especially if you live in an apartment where there's noise going on and it keeps you up. earplugs will be perfect. Okay, so those are all the things that are gonna improve your sleep regulation, your sleep quality, and can't really help your duration. You just got to set your bedtime, mate. They're the main things. I'm just going to run through them again, just as a quick step-by-step list or as a conclusion, right? So number one is you've got to have a good mindset and be relaxed. Sleep is something that happens to you, not something that you do. You can't force good sleep. You just got to let it happen, okay? The next one, light in the morning, sending that signal, okay? Do some exercise, drink some water, that sort of thing. And the next one kind of ties in your circadian rhythm, making sure you're staying aligned with your body clock, okay? Just stick into your sleep regulation. Same time in the morning, same time at night. The next one is keeping your room nice and cool, okay? Using that AC. Keep your room nice and cool. You want to keep your room nice and dark as well. If you want to use a sleep mask, no strips, mouth tape or earplugs. And then you want to eat and train as far away from bed as possible. 1 to 2 hours for food. You want to try just as far away from bed as possible for training, okay? So when it comes to all the things you need to do to improve your sleep, that's all of them, okay?